Okay, so this video is intended to give you some basic guidelines that you can follow to really get the most out of your time doing town struggles. So to begin with, I'll just share some of the basic settings that I really highly recommend, and I'll give a brief description of why. So if you go into Options, the General tab, go all the way down and enable Drag Select to open health bars. You can keep these other two disabled and just make sure that this one is set on none. The reason for this is that in town struggles there's often a lot of people and everybody's in the lobby before the match begins. So what you'll want to do is take any people that are in your guild and separate them. They're definitely going to be on your team. Everybody else, you'll want to just keep them in one big stack. You might even consider alphabetizing the bars. And the reason for that is that when the match begins, you'll want to not have to think too hard about finding people's bars. What I like to do is put things in a 2-column stack. And we'll get to why in just a minute. Some of the other things that you'll want to have activated is to hide roof tiles so you can see what's going on inside buildings if people run in them. You may want to have trees to stumps. I prefer to keep the trees so I can see where they are. And you'll also want to have fields set to tile fields. This will be really important. There's a lot of fields that get used in town struggles and you want to be able to target them, to dispel them if you need to. So those are some basic things. Other things to be aware of. You'll always want to have your strength at 120. Because it's really important to have as much HP as you possibly can when you're getting hit by, 80 bolts. So you'll want to have a strength potion going all the time. So you can see my health is 120 now. And you'll notice that the effect of the strength potion only is going to last 2 minutes. There's a number of things you can do to increase that, like having some small amount of alchemy, but you'll want to have that active at all times. Another thing that's really important is that you try to keep Magic Reflect on at all times. Again, when you're getting hit with 8 E-bolts, going down from getting hit with 8 to only hit with 7 is going to be really helpful. So it's important to keep that up as often as you can. You'll be able to reset your Magic Reflect 30 seconds after it's broken. Aside from that, some things you're going to want to make sure that you're able to do are making sure that you have at least 10 trap pouches on you. So you can see here mine are just pulled from my shelf, but you want to have at least 10. You want to have a hotkey to pop those pouches. For me, I keep my trap pouch hotkey right next to my teleport hotkey, which is another hotkey that you're going to want to have. And right next to that is my rope hotkey. So something that's kind of slick that you can do with rope is you can cast a spell and then use the rope. Not sure why that's not working. There we go. And you can have the spell up and you can teleport up to 10 tiles. So you'll want to have those 3 hotkeys. Other things you'll want to have are at least 15 greater heal potions. You'll want to have at least 5 greater cure potions. Ideally, you're going to want to have about 15 strength potions. Those will be really helpful. If you're a tank mage like I am, I use archery. You're going to want to have some agility potions as well, just to make sure that you can shoot those arrows as quickly as possible. You'll want to have regular material GM crafted weapons. I'm an archer again, so I've got a bow and a heavy crossbow. And you're also going to want to have regular quality GM crafted leather armor if you're a mage. These things are all going to be blessed, so they stay with you even when you die. You can see I've got my rope there. Some other things you're going to want to have are a hotkey for energy bolt, a hotkey for greater heal, hotkey for teleport, hotkey for magic reflect. I've already got it going. Let's see. You're also going to want to have, if you're feeling spicy, if you're feeling like you're ready for some advanced play, you're going to want to have a hotkey for Wall of Stone. It doesn't let you cast that near a teleporter. There we go. That's going to be really helpful for cutting people off if they're trying to escape, or giving yourself enough space to escape if you've got a bunch of people chasing you. You'll also want to have a hotkey for Dispel Field, so you can get rid of Wall of Stones and other fields. You'll also want to have a hotkey for Paralyze. You may need to hunt somebody down, and using Paralyze is really helpful for that. And then one other thing you'll probably want to have is a hotkey for Weaken. Again, because people are going to be using strength potions a lot and trying to have as much HP as they possibly can at all times, if you weaken them, that's going to really do a lot of good in terms of your team's ability to burst them down with spells and damage. Now, obviously, you're going to want to have a last target hotkey. So, got Mr. Vivint here. I'm going to try to stay out of range of his crossbow. He's AFK. So now I can hit him with last target. I can just run on screen and shoot him with a spell real quick. Other things you'll want to have is a hotkey for target self. So I've got my spell up, and I'm running. I can just heal myself real quick. You'll also, really importantly, want to have a hotkey for set last target. So in this example here, we've got Vivint. He's out of range right now, so he can't shoot me, I can't shoot him. But I can set him as last target. So I set his bar as last target. I've got a spell up, and I hit my set last target button. And now when I come in range, I can just run by, hit him with an E-bolt, and keep going. Another thing that's extremely helpful is having a hotkey for cycling enemy combatants, so enemy humanoids. So I can just hit my next target hotkey. This is a razor hotkey that I use, and that allows me to, I don't have to click their bars now. I can just keep running and run by them. Allows me to set last target, and then I can just hit the E-bolt and run away. Next thing you'll want to have is an equipment weapon hotkey, and you want to have an attack last target as well. So for example, if I've got my spell up and the caller is waiting for other people to get their spells up, I can run in and hit a couple weapon hits on people while I've still got my spell up and I'm just waiting for the call. And then when the call comes, I can hit them. Aside from that, you'll want to have a hotkey for drinking a cure potion, drinking a heal potion, and drinking a refresh potion. Refresh potions are going to be particularly helpful because in town struggles you're often running through people a lot. So you want to make sure you have a refresh potion hotkey. Aside from that, the one major thing I'd recommend for anyone who's newer to town struggles is really not be afraid to die. The biggest harm you can do to your team is to not be contributing damage. If you're not contributing damage, your team is going to have a hard time getting any kills, and eventually the other team is just going to run you over. So don't be afraid to head in there, just sit there, cycling targets, Maybe the caller calls somebody, you drop on them, you just load a spell right up again. Same target, maybe they decide that that target is not a good target and they switch. You will hit your target, set last target hotkey. You'll set the new target, and you'll wait for the call, and then you'll hit your spell, go for some damage with your weapon, and until the caller calls for kite, just stay right in there. Don't be afraid. There's very little harm from dying, especially in the first 25 minutes or so of a Town Struggles match. Just get in there, get used to hitting the targets, and don't be afraid. Alright, enjoy. Hope you have some fun.